Shall we just talk about another World Cup idiot then?
Oh, Eloy Pelissier.
Same topic, innit? We might as well throw it in.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've thrown in the Italy skirmish either.
No, I haven't done, just because I thought we were going to come across it naturally anyway.
Well, I'm hoping. Well, I was wondering if because Paul and Brian were having a bit of a knees up in town in Cairns, weren't they?
Insider
that
knowledge.
weekend. So I was wondering if they'd been around when this happened, because they were certainly around the Ireland team.
Yeah.
Anyway,
When Teddy and Shannon came to blows.
But yeah, there you go. Someone's insecure about the strength of their relationship there, I would suggest, in Shannon Wakeman.
Possibly so.
But
maybe Tedesco's got form.
And then Elwell Pelissier, he's another one. He's Mr. Curfew. That's again someone not really showing due respect.
No.
Like you were mentioning about the Scottish lads.
Exactly.
And it's all stupid stuff.
It's a World Cup. You can go out any time.
But they know that they're not. These players at these clubs know that these nations, know that nothing's going to come of their performances in this World Cup, and they've kind of switched off from the idea that they're still representing themselves, the sport, the countries that they play for,
which is disappointing from my point of view.
And with Elwell Pelissier looking for a club, it's not the kind of and when the last club that you really showed anything for let you go because of sort of your attitude kind of thing. This doesn't bode well for his agent telling stories to potential suitors, does it? No. So that's unfortunate as well. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So we'll move on to the next thing. Former Great Britain and England hooker Mickey Higham has retired from professional rugby league to take up an off-field role with his hometown club, Leigh Centurions. Higham is 37 and began and now ends his career at the club, who he helped win promotion back to Super League in 2016. He also won the Super League and Challenge Cup honours across stints with St Helens, Wigan and Warrington. I feel very fortunate and honoured to be invited to take on a wide-ranging role, Higham said, to be able to be part of the club as they look to return to Super League and then build on a long-term future at the top of the sport is both a huge privilege and very exciting and challenging. It was a dream to captain the club back into Super League and to captain them in Super League. They are the proudest moments of my career. Hyam's new role will see him work with the Centurions community department and also as part of the first grade coaching team. Hell of a career.
It's nice that he's not lost to the club. You could see after the £1 million game just how much the club
means to him,
and his role at the club as the captain and stuff meant to him. So it's good that passion still exists within the club and within the community.
Yes.
He can do a lot of good work there, I would suggest. So hopefully he does do. I mean, I had the pleasure, I suppose, of supporting him for a few years.
Yeah.
He was
a Bradford player for half an hour.
He basically his sat nav must have sent it the wrong way between Saints and Wigan.
I think he just had to technically turn up, didn't he?
I don't even know if he got further than Birch Services. But in a Wigan team that was not a classic, great Wigan team that had a few decent players, and Mickey Higham in that time was one of the ones who put in the most effort, which was commendable. He was a real live wire player early days at St Helens, and he was huge in the let's always run from dummy half Warrington side that he was a big part of for those Challenge Cup victories. So I think his career, he'll always be remembered as a player who ran out of dummy half a lot, who was exciting because of that, and who worked his absolute socks off, but probably will always fall in just that tier below the real top players. Arguably because he played with and then was cast aside for the two greatest hookers of his playing era.
Yeah, true.
But legend at least three of the clubs he's played for, and commendable performances at another one of them, I would say.
There you go. Fantastic. Okay. Castleford have...
Do you want me to do this one?
Well, you were sort of sitting back. I'm happy to let...
I didn't know if you had anything more to add on.
No, I think he's just a phenomenal servant of the sport, isn't he, Mickey Higham? Good on him.
Okay. God, there's a load here to say.
What do you want me to do?
Castleford Tigers have signed prop James Green from Leigh Centurions on a 1-year deal. The 26-year-old forward will be able to play for... will be playing for the league leaders next term. He started his career with Hull KR, made his Super League debut in 2012 and went on to play 81 games for them. He was their Young Player of the Year back in 2014, Tom. He's found chances limited at Leeds, having played just 9 games, and he's really excited to go to Castleford, and everyone's excited to have him.
I'm certain they all are. Okay.
I'm not reading all them quotes.
No, fair play. Catalan Dragons have
secured... on Lee, have you seen that they've signed Craig Hall today?
No.
Yeah, I think that was announced after you put your rundown together. I'm not even sure how confirmed it's been, because I've only seen it on one of the news outlets, but so that would be an interesting one if that's happened.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I suppose a player going out is what you're going to talk about next.
There you go. Yes, Catalan Dragons have secured the signature of Lee Centurion star Sammy Sonny Langi on a 2-year contract. Langi's contract with Lee was deemed null after the club lost in the £1 million game and were relegated to the Championship. So it's good to see Sammy Sonny, you would say, upgraded from life in League to life on the south of France.
It was absolute meter-making machine. He's a huge-bodied centre.
Yeah.
So good hands for the huge body and stuff, and real strong running presence. So good signing, I'd say, for Catalan. Well, potentially a good signing for Catalan based on the limited stuff we saw the last 2 or 3 rounds of Super League and through the qualifiers, because he didn't play, remember, in that £1 million game. That was one of the games he was unavailable for Lee.
There you go. So we'll stick with the news then that London Broncos have announced the appointment of Danny Ward as their new head coach, following the recent departure of Andrew Henderson. Dewsbury born, Ward has been in the capital since signing for the team in 2008 when they were Harlequins and made 103 appearances for the London team. He also had successful spells at Castleford Tigers, Hull KR, and played 135 times for Leeds Rhinos, including their 2004 Grand Final win. He played at international level for Great Britain Academy, the under-21s of England, as well as England A and the Great Britain senior side. He's been part of the coaching setup since 2015, and he'll be assisted by Jamie Langley. So, continuity at London Broncos, if nothing else, you would say, in terms of the coaching structure?
Yeah. Well, he's been there for ages, hasn't he, like you said. I think he's obviously, he knows the club, he likes life down there, he's been involved in loads of different roles at the club, and like you say, it's continuity. Hopefully he can be well supported and do a good job.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. Do you have any...
I just think it's going to be tough for London next year anyway, really. So keeping some consistency is probably the best way of prepping for that.
His first job's replacing William Bartow in the squad, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's hard to see where you're going to... I mean, good hours are hard to come by even in Super League, never mind in the Championship. So quite where he's going to dig that out from, I don't know. Maybe there's plenty of young, good players, though, down that neck of the woods. Maybe someone gets an opportunity to step up and make a name for himself.
Maybe so. Maybe he comes calling for one of the boys that are at your lot.
Possibly, yeah. Can I have Oscar Thomas? Okay, can't have Joe Keys. Joe Keys is integral. Right.
Okay, yeah. So the next story, Tom, you wanted to talk about was the Wakefield ground saga that keeps rumbling on. But
well, yes.
Aren't we a little bit tired of it?
Yes and no.
Fans?
But it is a big game of I know you are, you said you are, but what am I at the moment between the council and the club? When I was putting the rundown together, there was a load of stuff that had come out from the council detailing how the club are kind of sticking their heels in, not being particularly supportive of what they're trying to do, and Wakefield have come back with a counter statement. So it's a lot of the same brinkmanship that's been going on over Bellevue for quite some time now. So I don't really want to go into a big...
threatening legal action and it's high court action. It's all a bit of a nonsense. I think the problem is the club want the council to pay for it, but the club want to be able to make their own revenue from it. And I think some sort of compromise in the middle of that needs to be found, because the council also are very misguiding at the value of Wakefield Trinity as a business entity as things currently stand. You know, so it's questionable, and it's like, what do both sides want? Surely both sides of this want a Super League club that can compete. So they need to realise the realistic position of what that will mean, and maybe give one of the stands up to the club for them to use for revenue generating facilities, but have their own on the other opposite stand or whatever to generate revenue for themselves.
You would think so.
See how that works out.
Exactly. So we'll leave it at that, and we'll see what comes of the whole stuff down at Bellevue. We've talked about Pelissier and Carney. A couple of other short notes to bring you on.
We didn't mention Todd Carney.
I'm about to now. Sorry, Pelissier and France. A couple of notes to bring you. Todd Carney signed for Northern Pride this week, turning down a much bigger offer at Hull KR. So he's returning to Australia to ply his trade. And Lee announced the signing of Patrick Vaivai from the Gold Coast Titans as well this week.
Is that the centre/halfback who's been playing for USA?
He is, yes.
And
America's own Patrick Vaivai.
Coventry have started hoovering up the crumbs from the Oxford and All Golds situation.
Right.
So they've signed a few of their players from either club. What's going on? A couple of players have gone to Sheffield, in Ilias McCartney being the latest. So they're really building a squad.
Not with Ilias McCartney, they're not.
But they're adding depth.
They are adding depth.
I think 8 new signings recently.
Yeah.
Swinton have added a few Wigan youngsters, Gabe Fell being the latest to sign permanent deals with Swinton, so they're trying to solidify things and looking like they're going for like young players who've seen the club before, so fit in the culture that they have already. That Stuart Little is continuing on over there.
Yeah.
Ridyard's gone to Featherstone. That's a big signing for them in the Championship for next year.
So plenty going on. There you go. And finally, Super League Pod favourite Jamie Foster has come out of retirement to sign a 1-year deal with League One side Workington Town. The 27-year-old started his career at St Helens in 2010, scoring 34 tries and 241 goals in 54 games for the Super League club. Foster then had a loan spell at Hull FC before joining Bradford Bulls, where he scored 15 tries and kicked 119 goals in 35 appearances for the Bulls.
And he kept having a party.
He did have a party.
Whilst
bring your air gel and a Barbie.
Yeah,
there you go. He did keep that defensive turnstile spinning as well, didn't he? Anyway, the winger then had a stint in rugby union with Hull, but returned to league in 2016 and spent time with Huddersfield Giants. Yeah, he scored on his debut for Huddersfield Giants, looking a bit chunky, didn't he? And then playing at Featherstone Rovers. Workington coach Leon Price actually played alongside Foster at Saints and said he's excited to see the nippy winger in a Town shirt for next season. Price said, "I've worked with Jamie as a player and with him at St Helens. I've seen him coming through as a kid. He's a really good lad, a good player and a good person, but I think he may have fell out of love with rugby league a little bit, which can happen. But at this level, I expect a lot from him. It shows intention for me for where I see the club going. He is a calibre of player that I want to attract to the club going forward." And he's only 27 and he's played in so many grand finals and had been right at the top of Super League. So just a nice little land finally there, since we've spent plenty of time on the Super League pod sticking the boot in early days to Jamie Foster. So let's wish him some luck.
I'm glad if he has sort of reinvigorated himself and found his love back for the side, for the sport, because at the end of the day, whilst he never really worked on the things that maybe would have stepped him up from being an exciting young talent to a Super League mainstay, he still had a lot of skill, his goal kicking, he was very good close to the sideline with his balance and stuff. Early days he was a little bit like the early days Regan Grace.
Yes.
But maybe without the tackle busting ability that Regan Grace. I'll always remember there was a game where there was like a sort of pass behind the back type offload right close to it. Might have been at Warrington. Very early days.
I recall that try, yeah.
He scored a couple of tries in playoff games against Wigan in 2011, I think that was. So, he had some highlight moments. I'm not sure they did actually play with Leon Price, so I'm going to check this out.
He didn't play with Leon Price. He did at St Helens. Yeah, he will have done.
Leon Price, yes. Yeah, he did. Yeah, 2011 Leon Price was last season there. So I just wasn't sure when he left there. But yeah, so they know each other well, so that's all good.
So good luck to him. And of course, Leon Price, head coach at Workington now. So good luck to him in his new position. Yeah,
it's an interesting one, that one, because I've never really thought of Leon Price as a potential coach.
No.
But the more and more things have gone on, you sort of see how he gets around the players, supports other players, that sort of thing, that you think he's going to be a players coach. And if he can be patient with people who might not have the same natural talents as him,
that's going to be the key for
then him. I think he can possibly do well, because he'll have some good ideas and he's got a lot of experience.
Plus he's got contacts galore as well, you would have thought, so it could do them all good. Okay, that's news from around the world of Rugby League taken care of. Then let's take a look back now at the first 2 rounds of the Rugby League World Cup. Right then, so a couple of rounds worth of exciting World Cup play